Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining me. If I have more people come, I will let them in as we do this. And that could look a little weird because I'm going to do a lot of moving today. So I'll be back this way with my mat, but I'll just come up and let people in as needed. We're going to go ahead and get right into it because there's just, a lot to do, which is really good. I've designed this sequence to be about shifting perspectives. So we tend to hang on to our opinions and our beliefs. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's good to have a value system. It's good to have a belief system. But it's also really valuable to consider other angles and be able to look at what other people might see as their experience. So this is why it's super important to offer a change of perspective. So what we're going to do is first we're going to do some breathing, and then we're going to do some moving. The first one is a new breathing technique I'm going to teach you today. I am so excited about this one. I just learned it today, and I love it. So kind of like the finger breathing where you trace, this is different. Excuse me. What you're going to do is you're going to take your thumb, you're going to slide it up your finger for an inhale, and flick, and that's your exhale, okay? And then you go to the next finger, slide it up, that's an inhale, flick, that's an exhale. So that's how we're going to do it. Let's do that together. We're going to do all 10 breaths, okay? Or, well, I guess it's more like 8 because you can't use your thumbs. So, going ahead, putting on that mindful posture. We're just going to take 30 minutes out of our day to do something for ourselves. And whatever happened before right now, we're going to let that be. Whatever happens after, we're going to let that be. We're just going to be right here right now, okay? Taking that thumb, we're going to inhale. And exhale. Like you're flicking that breath away. Next one, inhale. Sliding the thumb up and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. All right, same thing, other side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, let's take an extra long time to exhale, breathing in. Super long exhale. Beautiful. Breathing is the only non-pharmaceutical way to regulate your nervous system. There are medicines that do this, and that's good. Sometimes we need those, but breathing is the only other way to regulate your nervous system that doesn't involve a medication. So join me as we begin to move. I'm going to talk louder so you can hear me, and I might have to adjust my screen to make sure you can see me. I think you can see me okay here, though. Cool. So again, our theme is shifting perspective. So we're going to do a lot of poses that involve twists, that involve maybe seeing the world upside down. I believe that when we move our body and we open our body up to new perspectives, that inspires our mental state to be open to new perspectives. And it's always good to see somebody else's point of view. It's always good to see that there are multiple sides to every story, okay? So that's what we're going to do. First, we're going to start in mountain pose. Feet are hip width apart, hips are directly below shoulders, everything's stacked. Perfect. Take an inhale, upward mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Hang out here for a second. Inhale, chair pose, sit low. Hold this for a moment. On your next inhale, your next exhale, bring your palms to your heart and twist. Putting your elbow on the outside of the opposite knee. Twisting from the hips. Holding this for a second. And coming back up to upward mountain. Keeping the arms raised, you're going to step back into warrior one. Knee is stacked on top of the ankle, feet turned a little bit inwards. Hips facing towards the front of the mat. They'll be a little bit catty corner. That's okay. Warrior one. On your next inhale, shifting into warrior two. Arms parallel to the ground. Breathing in together. And when you breathe out, straightening the front leg, bringing your hand down. You can bring it to your shin or you can touch the ground if you're able to. Looking up for triangle pose. You're making a triangle with your legs here. That's where the name comes from. Perfect. Now we're going to revolve our triangle. So leave your hand where it is. Bring the other hand down to the ground. It's going to become one of your bases now. Lift the opposite hand up. You're looking the other way. Bring that hand back down. Step that foot forward into a forward fold. And slowly roll yourself up. Woo, y'all, we should be having some heat happening. You should be feeling this. I know I'm feeling it. Same thing, other side, starting mountain pose. I'll turn myself this way so you can see me better, so I'm facing towards the screen. Mountain pose, here we go. Inhale, upward mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Hands can be on the shin or on the ground, wherever they need to be. Put a micro bend in the legs if you need to. Awesome. On your next inhale, coming up into chair pose, sitting low. Lifting the heart. Engaging the abs. Going to protect your low back. Great. Palms to heart center. We're going to bring that elbow to the opposite knee. We're turning to the other side this time. Turning from the hips if you need to straighten out. It might help to do that. Twist and then fold. If you can't go into the full twist, let me offer you a modification. You can bring your hands like this. I should have told you that on the first side. I forgot. But this is another option for you. Let's hold this for a second. Bringing the arms up, upward mountain. Keeping the arms raised. On your next inhale, you're stepping back into warrior one. Knee is stacked over the ankle. Again, engaging the abs. Shifting our arms open to a warrior two, looking out over these front fingers. You can widen your stance a bit if you want. Always okay to make adjustments, listening to your body. If you feel unstable, also think about bringing your feet horizontally away from each other, not further apart, but away from each other on this line. You walk your foot a little bit more towards the edge of the mat. That will help you feel more stable. Perfect. Straightening that leg. If you'd like, you can walk that back foot in a little bit, shifting into our triangle pose, landing the hand either on the shin or on the ground. If you need, you can use like a book or a block if you've got one. Looking up at the fingers if it's available to you. Perfect. Next thing we're going to do, bring that lifted hand down to the ground. Twist, open the other one, revolve, triangle. A new perspective. If you're feeling tired, so am I. Excellent. Float that hand on down to meet the other one. stepping into a forward fold. Hang out here for a second. And slowly roll yourself up. Y'all, if anybody told you yoga was easy, they were lying. But it's so good. Take a nice big wide step. We're going to go into a different series now. Going to a wide angle fold. So what we're going to do is we're going to sweep our hands up. And then we're going to bring our hands down. If you can touch the ground, great. If you'd like, you can bring your head to the ground, if possible. And go ahead and grab your elbows and just let your head hang. Nod your head, yes. Shake your head, no. Putting your hands back on the ground. If you've had your shoulders lifted, walk your feet in towards each other. Now we roll up. Woo. That was a new perspective as well. Saw the world upside down. You ever start to feel a little dizzy? Hands at heart center. And just pop out of a pose. Never, never, never feel like you've got to stay in a pose. Always listen to your body. It's perfectly okay to come out of a pose if you start to feel a little dizzy or a little lightheaded. I know some of those upside down ones, that can kind of be what goes on. So we're going to move on into a different one. Checking my time. Okay, perfect. Coming back into mountain pose. I'll do it over here. We're going to do a forward fold. So bring your hands up. Inhaling. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, step back into a plank. Nice flat back. And when you're ready, bringing those hips high and back, driving the heels down for downward dog. Broadening the shoulders, again, engaging the core. Pedal out the feet if that feels good to you. Drop the knees down. We're going to move into a tabletop position. Wrists are directly below shoulders. Knees are directly below the hips. What I'm going to have you do now is go ahead and bring yourself down to your forearms. You can also come from a plank position or with your knees down here. We're going to do a pose called Dolphin. What you're going to do is you're going to have your elbows about shoulder width apart, so they're pretty close together. You're going to make like a nest for your head. So you're going to put your head down on the ground. This is going to look a lot like downward dog, okay? So your arms are on the ground. A lot of the weight is going to be borne on your arms, not on your head or neck. You're going to put your head down. When you're ready, step those legs back. Dolphin pose. This is where some people take an inversion. I am not going to. We're just going to stay here. Remember, most of the weight's on your arms. Bring the knees down. Perfect. Coming into child's pose. So you're going to sit back. Your hips are on your heels if possible. If you need, you can put a pillow underneath to support you. Going to bring the forehead to the mat. Grab your heels for embryo pose. And bringing the arms out for child's pose. Excellent. When you're ready, coming back to the tabletop position, step those feet back, shifting into downward dog. Almost done. You earned it. You earned it. Slowly walk the feet up, crossing the ankles, coming to the hips. We're going to slowly lower ourselves down, one vertebrae at a time to the ground. Hugging the knees to the chest, maybe massaging that low back a little bit. Now, put your feet down onto the ground, shift your hips 2 inches to the right, drop your knees to the right. They're stacked on top of each other. Arms spread out or cactused. If it's available to you, you can look out over your left hand for a full twist. Staying here for just a moment in the twist. Excellent. Go ahead and bring your head back to center. Shift the hips back to center, drawing the knees to the chest, and just stay there for a second. As always with yoga, we do the same thing on the opposite side, placing the feet down on the ground, shift the hips 2 inches to the left, let the knees fall to the left, still stacked, arms extended or cactused, and if it's available to you, looking over that right arm. And let's just stay here. Excellent. Bringing the head back to center, drawing the hips in, adjusting them to center as well. Bringing the knees to the chest. Next, moving into our meditation, stretching the legs out, letting the feet fall away from each other, palms raised to the sky and laying on the ground beside us. If you need, feel free to put a blanket under your low back or under your knees. Do whatever can make you 5% more comfortable as you lay in this final pose. Sinking into the ground, feeling it supporting you. And while we lay for a few minutes here in our final pose, I will give you this question to meditate on. What perspectives do I hold that I'm clinging to where it might serve me to consider another perspective?
Hello.
Slowly starting to bring some small movements to the fingertips, maybe wiggling the toes. Coming back into this space, to this moment. And when you're ready, rolling onto your left side. And gently bringing yourself back up to a comfortable seat. If your eyes were closed, feel free to open them. And bring our gaze back to the screen. Thank you for moving and meditating with me. I know that one was pretty intense, but I know that you can do it. Yoga is not a competition. You don't get graded on it. So long as you show up for yourself, for your body, that's a win. That's a victory. So thank you again. Hopefully we can start to entertain how we might shift our perspectives during a time when people hold so rigidly onto what they think they know. It's always okay to entertain other angles. It doesn't mean you have to change your mind, but being open to other perspectives is a powerful thing. And my hope is that our moving of our bodies generated some openness within as well. So thank you so much. I appreciate you being here.